It's Carter, man. It's Tuesday. I wonder if most Americans have gotten the message from the fascist left yet here in this country. Yeah, it's coming across loud and clear, so I'm not sure if anybody could miss it. They, the fascist left, never again intend to allow a free and fair presidential election. Never. Never again. Read my lips. It's over as far as they're concerned. As I said the other day, they got a shock when Trump uh, upended Hillary, their candidate of choice back in 2016. So they have made sure that they make the selection from now on, and the rest of us better shut up and listen. We got further proof. Got further proof today, yesterday, with the new indictments out of Georgia. It's just a clown show. It's a clown show. Those indictments are 18 people. They're intended for one reason, and that's to make sure you get the message. No more free elections, and keep your mouth shut about it. Okay? One of the counts in the indictments is that Trump tweeted that people should watch OAN. So that's a criminal offense now. Yeah, yeah. The question of election, question returns, that's a criminal offense now. And for you too, by the way, for you too. Don't think they're going to stop with Trump. That's a message to everybody. Look, these people made up their mind in 2020 as far back, I want you to think, as the Democrat primaries, when the socialists took the lead, and they didn't want him, okay? And so the Democrats corrupted their own primary, okay? Bernie Sanders took the lead. He was the presumptive nominee, folks, going into North Carolina. So they just said, well, no way. We're going to install Slow Joe Biden. We know he's brain dead, thank you. But I'm not going to let that fruitcake Sanders in there. And Sanders, by the way, you may say, well, Sanders didn't seem to be upset. No, of course not. Sanders knew he wasn't a serious person. Okay, obviously the electorate, the primary Democrat primaries, thought he was a serious candidate, but all Bernie Sanders ever wanted was to be some sort of a weirdo, a cult figure, which is what he was. Okay, this man who has made millions of dollars and bought several mansions, espousing socialist claptrap. Okay, so that's why he didn't object when they said, sorry, Bernie, we're just taking it from you and handing it to Slow Joe. Again, we know he's brain dead, and that's what we want. He'll do as he's told. Then they stole the election. Now, for saying that, I could be indicted for being a domestic terrorist, as Mary Kimmler, Garland likes to term anybody who disagrees with Joe Biden. But that's where we are, okay? That's where we are. Then, once Trump upset Hillary, suddenly the fascist left launched every attack to destroy his presidency. Their phony dossier accusations, their Russian collusion hoax, and then when Trump still had he had a massive lead. He was going to win by a landslide, and suddenly the government told us we were all going to die if we didn't stay inside the house, let them lock us inside the house, so they could have absentee balloting, stuffed ballot boxes, have their mules. Pennsylvania, Trump was way ahead at 2 in the morning. I think 200,000 votes ahead, and all of a sudden all the absentee ballots came in unsigned, with no verification of signatures, against Pennsylvania law, but that didn't matter because the fascist left had decided, we determine who's going to be president, and the rest of you just shut up and do as you're told. That's where we are now. That's where we are. So now you have the new indictments of Trump. Once again, a clown show. This is a clown show. A clown, attorney down there in Georgia filing the indictments. A clown woman heading up the grand jury. A giggling, grinning idiot is what the woman is. But and they'll never win, but they don't have to win. What they have to do is destroy the election process, and that's what they are doing. And let me give you one more example. There's another guy who really is rising fast, very popular. I happen to like him a lot. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. If any of you get the chance, make sure to watch the interview Tucker did with RFK Jr. because at the very outset, they talk about something very revealing. Very revealing. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., whose father was assassinated as a presidential candidate, and who he explains in the interview has had massive number of threats against his life, is the first presidential candidate in decades who's not allowed to have Secret Service. The fascist left has refused him Secret Service protection. Of all the candidates that you and I both know need Secret Service protection, there are a lot of kooks out there who would love to get a Kennedy trifecta. John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and let's get RFK Jr. too. It's Robert Kennedy Jr. So the Biden regime and that ghastly Mayorkas, who should have been impeached long ago for destroying our border, they say, no, you're not getting any Secret Service protection. Okay? In order to do one or two things, as RFK points out in the interview, make sure to watch it. It cost him so much money to pay for his own protection that it helps destroy his candidacy, his funding for his candidacy, or just get him shot. Yeah. That's where we are. That's where we are in America today. Makes the congressional elections all the more important. I've said it before, I'm going to close with this. In the banana republic south of the border, as opposed to the big banana republic we are now, traditionally, they will let people elect Congress, but they decide, the powers that be in those countries decide who the president's going to be. Okay? I have a home in one of the countries, and I know how they operate. Lived there for a while. That's where we are now. That's where we are now. So we've got to elect a substantial majority in the Senate and elect about 20 new conservative House members whose first obligation to us will be to toss McCarthy's butt out the door of the House Majority Leader office, and then get busy with impeachments and defunding the left. As to winning the presidency, going to be very tough, folks, so just be prepared for that. We'll fight it. We'll fight it. We'll fight the battle hard, but just be prepared. It's going to be, we're going to have to raise holy hell, period. Let's do this thing.